Good morning, Skallywags. Spoo here with another mindless drivel, and, well, yeah, Tiger King. They're back at it. Just a few days ago, Netflix released an all-new episode to what is now being called the highest rated and most popular documentary of all time. Further proving my theory that people will watch a dumpster fire if they see one. But if you haven't seen the episode, you might be wondering, well, how did they release another episode if everything's already wrapped up and, well, now we're on quarantine? Well, being that the country is kind of on lockdown, the episode is basically a FaceTime-style catch-up to a few of the key players within the series. Obviously, there's no Joe because, well, he's in jail. And there's also no Carol Baskins because, well, she's not too happy with the documentary makers. She basically feels like they made her out to be a murderer. You know, because she is. I mean, come on, they even reopened the case after watching the footage from the show. But we do get to catch up with a few of our other favorites from the series. Head Tiger Keeper Eric Cowie. Of course, Jeff and Lauren Lowe. The man with the coolest prosthetic legs in history, Mr. John Rinke. Josh Dial, which of course was Walmart gun and ammo manager turned campaign manager for Joe Exotic. Saf, the animal keeper who is the one that got his arm ripped off by a tiger. John Finley, Joe's ex-husband. And Rick Kirkham, the guy that wanted to do the reality show about Joe Exotic. Until the building where all of his editing equipment and all of his footage was burned down mysteriously. And quick side note, back during my review of Tiger King, I know I called him Rick Kirkman and that it is Kirkham. Oopsie. One by one, we get to catch up with our friends from the show in this new episode hosted by Joel McHale. For some reason, but hey, whatever. New episode is new episode. Basically, Joel asked them kind of the typical questions you would expect. What did they think of the show? How has their life changed since the show? How do you think Joe is reacting to this newfound fame and glory while he's stuck in prison, unable to enjoy it? Honestly, it's pretty cut and dry. Exactly what you would expect from this type of an episode. But we did get to learn a few interesting things that we didn't get to learn about during the initial run of the series. So, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that everyone, and I mean everyone, thinks that Joe Exotic will die in jail. We learned that Jeff Lowe has close to 70 Affliction shirts and even more leather jackets. He also has a new very hot nanny. And I have not tested this, but according to Joel McHale during the episode, if you go to Google and type in so much as the word Jeff Lowe's hot nanny is the first result that pops up. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but I like to think that it is. We learned that Jeff Lowe has absolutely no idea why Alan was interviewed in a bathtub. Honestly, I don't think that anyone could answer that question. Probably not even Alan. So that one will just forever stay one of the universe's great mysteries. As it should. We learned that Jeff Lowe and Dylan, Joe's new husband, got into a fist fight the day that Joe quit and left the zoo. And that this fist fight went on for about 15 minutes, which is either really epic or really pathetic. I'm not sure which, but when I start thinking about these people that we've come to know and love through this show, actually fighting each other? Where were the cameras? I mean, you've got these 2 or 3 people that record literally everything, and you couldn't get that on film? We learned that lions can be used as alarm clocks. Because screw chickens. I mean, yeah, apparently every morning at sunrise, they just start roaring in unison. Thought that was kind of neat. On a more serious note, we actually find out that Travis's death was an accident. It was not suicide. I know in the show they kept calling it an accident, but I mean, from the way that everything went down, they built it up like he was losing it and kind of going crazy and doing more meth and all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden he shoots himself in the head. I just assumed it was suicide. That's kind of how they played it off. But no, apparently he was speaking to Josh, the campaign manager guy, and he was showing off his new Ruger that Joe had got him. And he basically was like, yeah, you know, a Ruger, it won't fire if there's not a clip in it, see? Except there was a round in the chamber, apparently. Josh said that he actually could see for about the next 20 seconds, see this look of fear and confusion in Travis's eyes, and then he was gone. So he knew it wasn't on purpose. But yeah, that's God, that's a buzzkill. We learned that John, the ex-husband John, not John Rinke, there's John and Josh and Jeff and Joe and Jay. John, the ex-husband, was shirtless throughout the interview process of the documentary series because he wanted to show off his tattoos. Now he's just showing off those new pearly whites of his. Of course, we all know that Joe Exotic has released 2 musical albums.
I saw Tiger saw me.
And I'm sure this isn't new information. It's been out there since the series broke on Netflix. But it is confirmed in this episode that no, that is not Joe's voice. Somebody else wrote the songs and recorded the songs. Joe is simply lip-syncing to them in the videos, which is hilarious. Again, on a serious note, we find out that not all of the tigers that Joe shot were old or sick or actually needing to be put down. According to Saf and Rick, and I forget if anybody else said it, but at least those 2 said it, sometimes Joe just needed to shoot something and the tigers were there. In fact, Rick actually tells a story about this woman who showed up at the zoo one day carrying a horse trailer. She's all distraught and basically asked Joe to take care of her horse because she didn't have the means to do so, and Joe had all of this extra land. The horse was old, and basically she's like, you know, can you just give him the life that he deserves to have and let him roam free and, you know, put him out to pasture, all that good stuff. Well, of course, Joe was, oh, sure, absolutely. And then as soon as the lady leaves, Joe turns around and says to Rick, I don't take care of other people's animals, shoots the horse in the head, chops it up, and fed it to the tigers. Like, immediately after the woman left. And probably the 2 biggest things that we learned from this new episode: Joe Exotic, the man that calls himself the Tiger King. Now listen closely here, okay? Are you paying attention? Is this thing on? Is scared to death of big cats. Yes, that is right. The main focus of this absolutely just insane documentary series called Tiger King, the man who refers to himself as the Tiger King, is scared to death of tigers and lions and ligers and big cats of all kinds. And in fact, the interview sections that we see with him, where he's actually in the cage with 2 tigers, one of them is blind, and the other one is just drugged out of its mind. That's the only way that he could actually be in the cage with these tigers to do his interviews for the documentary series called Tiger King. I mean, sure, it's pretty easy to reign over something that's just drugged up out of its mind, but I digress. Perhaps the most important thing that we learn from this new episode is that our friends from the Tiger King series, nay, everyone from Oklahoma, absolutely 100% without a doubt loves Walmart. Oh yeah, and they also fully believe that Carol Baskins killed her husband. But hey, don't we all? To both of those things? And there you have it, guys. Just a quick little recap of what we got to see in episode 8 of The Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. What do you think? What was your favorite part? Do you think that the choice to have Joel McHale host this thing made any sense whatsoever? Do you think that we'll have another pandemic someday, forcing us to watch whatever other crazy Netflix docuseries happens to be out at the time? Maybe next time we could get someone like, I don't know, Paul Rubin or something to host the follow-up thing. Let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments below. Make sure you smash that like button and click on subscribe. Make sure you check on the bell to get notifications, because we do release videos here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And, well, you know, I would just hate for you to lose out on all the wonderful things that we do here, like this. And, of course, you can check us out across all of our social media, like the Facebook, like the Instagram, and, of course, the Twitter. Also, since we're like a month into quarantine and you're probably just sitting around your house doing nothing anyway, why don't you jump online and head on over to www.geekycool.com, a website absolutely blessed with all things nerd. Not only will you find videos just like this one right there on that same page, you'll also find articles, reviews, games, movies, comics, you name it, a weekly live vlog that you yourself can actually join in on. I mean, it's literally got everything you could ever possibly want. So get over there, pause the video, get over... Well, wait till the video is over, because it's almost over now anyways. It's going to be like a few seconds. So as soon as the video is over, you jump over to www.geekycool.com, and you be sure to tell them that Skallywag Productions sent you. Tell them we said hi! That's going to wrap it up today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably release something in the next couple of days to make up for missing Monday. Believe it or not, I've been really busy the last few days. I haven't left the house, but I've still been staying busy, working on some projects and some bigger things that are coming soon. So be sure to stick around because you don't want to miss out on those. But I'm rambling at this point, guys, so thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.